Governor?
Thank you, Anderson. Thank you, CNN, and thank you, Facebook, for organizing this debate. Not only will Americans be electing a new president next year, we also will be electing a world leader. Voters should assess the candidate's experience, character, and vision for the future as they make this important decision. I'm the only one running for president that has been a mayor, a United States senator, and a governor. As mayor, I brought labor peace to my city and kept taxes down. I was reelected 3 times. As a senator, I earned a reputation for courageous votes against the Bush-Cheney tax cuts that favored the wealthy, against the tragedy of the Iraq War, for environmental stewardship, for protection of our civil liberties. I served on the Foreign Relations Committee, and I chaired the Middle East Subcommittee for 4 years. As governor, I came in at the depths of the recession, and we turned my state around. Rhode Island had the biggest drop of the unemployment rate over my 4 budgets of all but one state. Happens to be Nevada, where we're having this debate. I'm very proud that over my almost 30 years of public service, I have had no scandals. I've always been honest, I have the courage to take the long-term view, and I've shown good judgment. I have high ethical standards. As we look to the future, I want to address the income inequality, close the gap between the haves and the have-nots. I want to address climate change, a real threat to our planet. And I believe in prosperity through peace. I want to end these wars. I look forward to the discussion ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor Chafee. You've been everything but a socialist. When you were senator from Rhode Island, you were a Republican. When you were elected governor, you were an independent. You've only been a Democrat for a little more than 2 years. Why should Democratic voters trust you won't change again?
Anderson, you're looking at a block of granite when it comes to the issues.
It seems like pretty soft granite, though. I mean, you've been a Republican, you've been an independent.
Did you hear what I said on the issues? I have not changed on the issues. I was a liberal Republican, then I was an independent, and now I'm a proud Democrat, but I have not changed on the issues. And I open my record to scrutiny, whether it's on the environment, a woman's right to choose, gay marriage, fiscal responsibility, aversion to foreign entanglements, using the tools of government to help the less fortunate. Time and time again, I have never changed. You're looking at a block of granite when it comes to the issues.
So why change labels?
The party left me. There's no doubt about that. There was no room for a liberal, moderate Republican in that party. I even had a primary for my reelection in 2006. I won it, but the money poured in to defeat me in Rhode Island as a Republican. That's what we were up against.
Governor Chafee, you have an F rating from the NRA. What do you think about what Senator Webb just said?
Yes, I have a good record of voting for common sense gun safety legislation, but the reality is, despite these tragedies that happen time and time again, when legislators step up to pass common sense gun safety legislation, the gun lobby moves in and tells the people they're coming to take away your guns. And they're successful at it. In Colorado and other states, the legislators that vote for common sense gun safety measures then get defeated. I even saw it in Rhode Island. So I would bring the gun lobby in and say, we've got to change this. Where can we find common ground? Wayne LaPierre from the NRA, whoever it is, the leaders, come on, we've got to change this. We're not coming to take away your guns. We believe in the Second Amendment, but let's find common ground here.
Governor Chafee, you were the only Republican in the Senate to vote against the Iraq War. You say Secretary Clinton should be disqualified from the presidency because she voted in favor of using force in Iraq. She has since said that her vote was a mistake. Why isn't that good enough?
Well, we just heard Senator Sanders say that it's the worst decision in American history. That's very significant. The worst decision in American history, I just heard from Senator Sanders. So as we look ahead, if you're going to make those poor judgment calls at a critical time in our history, we just finished with the Vietnam era, getting back into another quagmire. If you're looking ahead and you're looking at someone that made that poor decision in 2002 to go into Iraq when there was no real evidence of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, I know because I did my homework. And so that's an indication of how someone will perform in the future, and that's what's important.
Governor Chafee, who or what is the greatest national security threat to the United States? I want to go down the line.
Okay, I just have to answer one thing that Senator Webb said about the Iran deal, because I'm a strong proponent of what President Obama, and he said that Because of the Iran deal, that enabled Russia to come in. No, that's not true, Senator Webb. I respect your foreign policy chops, but Russia is aligned with Iran and with Assad and the Alawite Shias in Syria. So the Iran deal did not allow Russia
Senator,
to come in.
I got to give you 30 seconds. To be honest, Governor Chafee, for the record, on the campaign trail, you've said a different thing. You said this is a huge issue. Standing here in front of Secretary Clinton, are you willing to say that to her face?
Absolutely. We have to repair American credibility after we told the world that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, which he didn't. So there's an issue of American credibility out there. So anytime someone's running to be our leader and a world leader, which the American president is, credibility is an issue out there with the world. And we have repair work to be done. I think we need someone that has the best in ethical standards as our next president. That's how I feel.
Governor Chafee, you've attacked Secretary Clinton for being too close to Wall Street banks. In 1999, you voted for the very bill that made banks bigger.
The Glass-Steagall was my very first vote. I just arrived. My dad had died in office. I was appointed to the office. It was my very first vote.
Are you saying you didn't know what you were voting for?
I just arrived at the Senate. I think we get some takeovers, and that was one. It was my very first vote, and it was 92.5. It was the reconciliation.
With all due respect,
let me just say,
what does that say about you that you're casting a vote for something you weren't really sure about?
I think you're being a little rough. I just arrived at the United States Senate. I'd been mayor of my city. My dad had died. I'd been appointed by the governor. It was the first vote, and it was 90-5 because it was a conference report. But let me just say about income inequality. We've had a lot of talk over the last few minutes, hours, or tens of minutes, but no one's saying how we're going to fix it. And it all started with the Bush tax cuts that favored the wealthy. So let's go back to the tax code. And 0.6% of Americans are at the top echelon, over 464,000. 0.6 of Americans, that's less than 1%, but they generate 30% of the revenue.
Thank you,
and they're doing fine. So there's still a lot more money to be had from this top echelon. I'm saying let's have another tier and put that back into the tax bracket, and that'll generate $42 billion. And then we can help the middle class and hardworking Americans.
Governor Chafee, you and Hillary Clinton both voted for the Patriot Act, which created the NSA surveillance program. You've emphasized civil liberties, privacy during your campaign. Aren't these two things in conflict?
No, that was another 99-1 vote for the Patriot Act, and it was seen as, at the time, modernizing our ability to do what we've always done, to tap phones, which always required a warrant. And I voted for that. Now, no. As long as you're getting a warrant, I believe that under the Fourth Amendment, you should be able to do surveillance. But you need a warrant. That's what the Fourth Amendment says. And in the Patriot Act, Section 215 started to get broadened too far. So I would be in favor of addressing and reforming Section 215 of the Patriot Act.
Secretary Clinton, Governor Chafee, Edward Snowden, is he a traitor or a hero?
No, I would bring him home. The courts have ruled that what he did was say the American
bring him home, no jail time?
The American government was acting illegally. That's what the federal courts have said. What Snowden did showed that the American government was acting illegally per the Fourth Amendment.
Clinton,
so I would bring him home.
A question for each of you, starting with Governor Chafee. Name the one thing, the one way that your administration would not be a third term of President Obama.
Certainly ending the wars. We've got to stop these wars. We have to have a new dynamic, a new paradigm. We're just spent $500 million arming and training soldiers, the rebel soldiers in Syria. They quickly joined the other side.
President Obama's generals right now are suggesting keeping troops in Afghanistan after the time he wanted them pulled out. Would you keep them there?
I'd like to finish my question, my answer. And also, we just bombed a hospital. We've had drone strikes that hit civilian weddings. So I would change our approach to the Middle East. We need a new paradigm in the Middle East.
Governor Chafee, Franklin Delano Roosevelt once said, "I ask you to judge me by the enemies I have made." You've all made a few people upset over your political careers. Which enemy are you most proud of?
I guess the coal lobby. I've worked hard for climate change, and I want to work with the coal lobby. But in my time in the Senate, tried to bring them to the table so that we could address carbon dioxide. I'm proud to be at odds with the coal lobby.
Second, Governor Chafee, let's begin with you.
Thank you, Anderson. Thank you, CNN, and thank you, Facebook, for sponsoring this debate. America has many challenges confronting us. Ending the perpetual wars, addressing climate change, addressing income inequality, funding education, funding infrastructure, funding health care, helping Black Americans, helping Native Americans. We have many challenges. Who's best able to confront these challenges? I've served in government at many levels. I know what it's like to solve problems at the local level because I did it as mayor. I know how to get legislation passed through Congress because I did it as a senator. I know how to turn around a state because I did it as governor of Rhode Island. But what I'm most proud of is that in 30 years of public service, I have had no scandals. I have high ethical standards. And what I'm most proud of is my judgment, particularly in the Iraq War vote. There was a lot of pressure, political pressure, public pressure, but I did my homework. And I did not believe that the evidence was there that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, and we live now with the consequences. So that kind of judgment is what we want in a president going forward. And I'm running for president to end the wars. I want to be the peacemaker. I am a proven peacemaker. Please go to Chafee 2016 to learn more about me. Thank you.
Governor Chafee, thank you.